Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to the United Stand. Hope you're all doing very well this Thursday morning. Big day, Premier League football is pretty much back. International football is in the bin and that's where it belongs. I'm bored of it. I'm sure you are all as well. So very, very pleased to be welcoming back Premier League football. We've got our preview coming in today as well, which is great. But look, let's start off. Big news is around Bruno Fernandes and a potential transfer out of Manchester United. Also a little bit of talk about Ramos, injuries, Pelestri playing last night. Dan James, everyone thinks Dan James can play for Manchester United now. Well, he does play for Manchester United. He's a Manchester United player. So let's see what he can do around that. But look, let's start off with Bruno Fernandes. So this is a story that's coming from Spain, Sport, which are close to Barcelona, and basically saying that Bruno Fernandes is unsettled at Manchester United. He's fed up of the internal conflicts and will be looking to move in the summer if things don't improve. And Real Madrid and Barcelona would be willing to fight it out for him. I mean, look, it's funny. I predicted this either last night or a couple of days ago, and I'm sure many people will agree with this. I mean, what do you expect? This. In a way, I don't feel justified, and I certainly don't feel very happy about it. I would be absolutely gutted if Bruno Fernandes left Manchester United, because he is the Roy Keane of this team. He is the Cantona of this team, the David Beckham, the Nemanja Vidic. You know, the leader. He's a leader, and I think if you put Bruno Fernandes into a squad in the 99 squad or the 08 squad, he wouldn't be out of place. I'm not saying he would start, but he wouldn't be out of place in certainly as a bench player. There's not many United players you can say that about now that would get on the bench of the 99 side or the 08 side. So Bruno Fernandes, he's got that je ne sais quoi. He's got that aura. He's got that winning mentality. He's got that aggression, frustration. And I'm sure he probably is fed up. I listen to a lot of what Bruno says, and he was speaking about, if he's had a bad game, he struggles to go to sleep at night. It matters to him. It's a job. It's not just a job, it's a profession, and he wants to be the best at it. And rest assured, if Manchester United continue down the road they've been through for the last 7 years, he won't be here in 2 years. He'll go. He'll absolutely go. And we spend so much time talking about, will Real Madrid buy Paul Pogba? Will Juventus buy Paul Pogba? And the funny thing is, actually, Real Madrid and Juventus and everybody else may well by the summer be saying, yeah, we don't want Pogba, we want Bruno, because that's the road we're on. This is our best player. This is our most impactful player. This is our leader. This is the player that makes us relevant. Why would clubs be going, yeah, we want Pogba, when they could try and get Bruno Fernandes? Now, I don't think Bruno Fernandes is going to go in the summer. He will have only been here 18 months. We'd be absolutely stupid to let him go. We spent what? I mean, there's just no way Bruno's going in the summer. I can absolutely confirm that. But as a longer term problem, it is a problem when teams like Real Madrid and Barcelona are being linked to him now. He's only just got his first foot in the door. That is something that he will look at. And I'm not worried about Real Madrid and Barcelona. They've got no bloody money. And if they wanted to buy him, they'd have to pay us £100 million straight away. And that's double what we paid for him 8 months ago. They're not going to be able to afford that money. They might be able to in a couple of years. But the thing that starts to concern me is that we won't have Bruno Fernandes out of this at this club in 2 years if we continue down this road that we're on. So look, it's interesting that that's coming out of Spanish reports this morning and last night. I certainly think that if you spoke to any football club and said, what player do you want out of Manchester United? I think most of them would say Bruno Fernandes. Some of them would say Pogba. Some of them would say Martial. But the reality is Bruno Fernandes is our best player. And much the same as what Liverpool had a few years ago with people like Torres and Suarez when they weren't challenging for titles or winning Champions Leagues. You can have really good players. And Coutinho, you can have really good players, but they won't stay for long if they're too good for the team that they play in. And at the moment, Bruno Fernandes is almost getting to that point now. He's our superstar, he's our best player, and other clubs will look at it. I mean, look, imagine if we drop into the Europa League next season. Do you think Bruno Fernandes is going to be happy with that? Second year at the club, and we've dropped down from where we started. We've got to stay in the Champions League. We've got to get better if we want to keep people like Bruno. We should be building a team around Bruno Fernandes, not worrying about this team standing still. And the team stands still because of the owners. That's what happens with this club. That's where we've been for the last 7 years. We've spent £1 billion. We've had 4 managers. and we're no further forward than where we were under David Moyes, really. We're not consistent, and we're not improving. And people like Bruno Fernandes, mark my words, they will go. And for so long, we've worried about Paul Pogba. For 4 years, we've worried about when Paul Pogba's going to leave. Or, if we don't build a team around him, if we don't start winning things, Paul Pogba will want to go to Real Madrid. And, well, he does. But, I think with Bruno Fernandes, you've got a real opportunity to build something very, very special here. So I think this is only the start. And it's something that we as Manchester United fans need to get used to. I remember it with Ronaldo, and I hated it. When you've got this player that you don't ever want to leave because they're so good for your club and they fit your club so well, but that player may start to look at other things. Ronaldo always wanted to go to Real Madrid, and it pissed me off because he was so good for us. But, Bruno Fernandes, I'm not saying he wants to go to Real Madrid, but Ronaldo was playing in a United side that was winning titles. Bruno's playing in a side that gives him an excuse to want to go to a better club. We've got to create this atmosphere and surrounding for people like Bruno Fernandes that they only want to go somewhere else if it's their lifelong dream to play for that club, not because loads of clubs are better than United because we're not getting anywhere winning things. We've got to do better than that. Active Dan says, stop overhyping Bruno. He's all right, just scores pens and gives 5 to 10 yard passes to other players to score nothing special. Bye Active Dan. It's been a good run on the channel, but bye. And told you guys, look, in all fairness, what does that comment bring to the live chat other than being an absolute troll? He just takes penalties and does 5 yard passes. So he scored a header against Everton. He scored a cross that would have been on Rashford's head if he'd got it. The little dink over against Man City, the long ball through to Rashford, the team goal against Newcastle. I don't mind if people don't want to respect Bruno and be an idiot, that's fine. But we just don't need, that is a troll comment. That person needs help. We don't need that sort of thing. Whether you're pro Bruno or not, it's that sort of idiot comment that will not get time of day. Bye-bye, Dan. Mart, Bruno is worth 300 million. Look, how much is Bruno Fernandes worth in the current market, whether he leaves in 2 years or never leaves? I think he's it's so difficult because of COVID. How much would you value him at? How much would you value Bruno Fernandes at? Because the honest answer is I don't know. I do not know, because in a COVID world it's very, very difficult. In the world that we've operated before COVID, I would say we bought him for 60. He's got to be worth 100 now. So yeah. And that's in 9 months. Mark, I feel if Bruno goes this way, then that will really show how far we've fallen. I don't think a Sancho or Haaland would ever want to come also, says Cigar. Look, Bruno Fernandes will not leave Manchester United in the summer. That is not going to happen. You can take that to the bank. You can clip this. You can do what you like. Bruno Fernandes will not leave Manchester United in the summer. Nobody will be able to afford him in the summer. But the next year, if this season's about whether Pogba leaves next summer, the next season will be about whether Bruno leaves, because that'll be 2.5 years in. So when we're looking to buy Erling Haaland in the summer of 2021, that's the summer Bruno will leave, summer 2021. If in a year's time we're still where we are now, fighting for 4th or 5th, nowhere near the titles, Bruno will be gone, not next summer, the summer after, because he's too good to waste his career at a team that's fighting for 5th. So we're all right. The challenge is the challenge that Solskjaer's got from Saturday. We need to start winning consistently, and we need to start challenging, because that's the only way you can keep people like Bruno. So it's a warning. It's a warning shot. Why would you be surprised if Real Madrid and Barcelona want Bruno Fernandes? Why would you be surprised by that? It's a warning shot for Manchester United. 6.5 weeks until the January transfer window, says Gabe. And some players are performers and captains. This is not easy to find. He's the only player at our club with both these. He motivates others, says Vikram. Totally agree with that. Just a little bit of... Alu says stop overhyping rumours. Alu, just stop watching the channel. Please, just go. Go and do some gardening or go and, play with your Lego or something. I don't know. This is a news show. It's the United Stand news show, 10 a.m. It's about what's in the news. We talk about what is in the news. If I think it's shit, I'll say I think it's a load of shit. If I think it's got some credibility, I'll say it, and then you will have your opinion. If you don't get it, you expose yourself as an idiot. That's not my problem. It's not the problem of the community that gets it. Stop overhyping rumours. We're talking about a rumour. I've not overhyped it. In fact, I've said he ain't going anywhere for a year. You're an idiot, mate. Jog on. Anyway, let's talk about another rumour, but let's not overhype it. We better not overhype it because it might upset that previous commenter. So, the next rumour we're going to talk about, we need to talk about Rashford, Dan James as well, and Palestri is very interesting. But another story coming out of Spain, Marca. Note how I always say where the story comes from as well and the credibility of the source. So Sport is a Barcelona-based Spanish report newspaper talking about Bruno to Barcelona and Real Madrid. This one is from Marca. Marca is another Spanish news outlet based in Madrid. Okay, so let's be careful not to overhype it. That's where it comes from. So it's Marca. Marca is saying that PSG, Manchester United, and another club that I can't remember are monitoring the situation with Sergio Ramos, who is out of contract in the summer, and Manchester United might be looking at him. Now, look, for me, this is a load of nonsense, to be honest with you. I mean, Sergio Ramos is 34. We were linked to him a few years ago. I got very excited about buying him. There is no doubt that Sergio Ramos, for me, is absolutely fantastic, and I think he's for me he has been, and some would still say is one of the best centre backs in the world. I still think Van Dijk is better, but at the moment Sergio Ramos is probably the best centre back in the world with Van Dijk being injured. Thiago Silva's come to Chelsea, seems to be doing quite well, early days. So why would Sergio Ramos in the Premier League not be a good centre back? I think he would. I'm sure there's a lot of people in the live comments would take Sergio Ramos. Would you take Sergio Ramos? That's the question to you. I'm sure a lot of people would. For me, if you're asking me, can I have David Alaba or Upamecano or Sergio Ramos? On this one, I would take Alaba or Upamecano. I think United need some experience, and Sergio Ramos is definitely a leader. But at 34, I'd question the risk element for the price element. He would want massive wages. He's out of contract. He would be on huge money. And what if he didn't work out? I think Manchester United are meant to be building for the future. Now, look, if we get Ramos, I'm going to be as excited as anybody. But I don't feel like Sergio Ramos is like getting Cristiano Ronaldo at 36. Cristiano Ronaldo is just different. I think Sergio Ramos having to perform in the Premier League. Look, it could be a brilliant, inspired signing. But for the price, I think he'll sign a new contract at Real Madrid anyway. Or PSG might be a good place for him to go, because I think that the French league is not as hard as the Premier League, and so I don't see it happening, and I don't think I would want it to happen. And it's interesting because some people in the live comments are saying yes, but a lot of people are saying David Alaba, which is interesting. I mean, there's so many people saying yesterday about David Alaba that he's not a centre-back, Mark. He's a left-back. He's not a centre-back. And I'm like, I know where you're coming from, but I'm sorry, he would play left centre-back for Manchester United and be better than any centre-back that we've got. He's not going to come to Man United and go, I'm a left-back, I don't care, I'm a left-back. Like, you would buy him to play left centre-back. I'm sure you're all the same. I struggle sometimes with the football knowledge of some people when we're talking about David Alaba as a left-sided centre-back and people are in the live comment, he's a left-back! He's a left-back! He's not a left centre-back, he's a left-back! No, we would buy him to play left centre-back because that's where he can play. That's where we buy David Alaba. Like, deal with it. Another player who's out of contract in the summer, 28 years of age, only just 28. This is the player I would like United to get. I don't think we can do that sort of deal, but I think it would be a very good deal for us. Jay Turner says, "Did you see Dan James' goal?" I did. I did. Glenn says we don't sign like that in the comments. Fair enough. I was just trying to make it a little bit of comedy. But I did see Dan James's goal. Can I just say, we're not that club. We're not that fan base. We're not. Let Ricky do it. And Ricky's been very consistent that he rates Dan James. Most of you have given Dan James pelters for a long time. Don't be that football fan that has pelted Dan James and said he doesn't belong in the Premier League. He scores a goal against Wales and suddenly, oh yeah, he's a United player. That was a goal you would expect any Premier League player to be able to score at some point in their career. It drops him on the edge of the box and he hits it. Like, it's a very good goal, but he's not skipped past three players. It drops him on the edge of the box, he takes a touch and he hits it. Most footballers could score a goal like that. I'm not saying they're going to, but they could. It's a very good goal, but what do we start him against West Brom? You know, it's a good goal. To me, it doesn't. It's a good goal. I mean, I'm not disputing it's a good goal. But what I am saying is he don't start for Man United. He's still the player he's had more chances than Van der Beek. So I don't know, what are we saying? That's all I'm saying about this. It's a good goal, but what are we saying? Are we saying start him against West Brom? This is the lad who's had more starts than bloody Danny Van der Beek. He's had his chance. He's had his chance. Get on the bench if you want to, but you've had your chance. You don't score a goal for Wales and get back into the first team. You've had your chance. I want Van der Beek to get chances that Dan James has had in the team. Van der Beek scored a good goal for Holland last week. So what? I want Van der Beek to start playing for Manchester United. I don't want Dan James to come back into the team. I feel he's had his chance this season. He'll have to wait for a second chance. Lingard's got to have a chance before Dan James has a chance. So fair play to the lad for scoring a goal, but it doesn't make me think he should start playing for Manchester United. No. Bye, Tony. And Wales believes in James, says Xavier Hewitt. Look, I like Dan James. I said this at the start. I said it over the summer that this season was a big season for Dan James. I think last season was very much a roller coaster, up and down, lacking consistency. This season, you were going to define what Dan James is all about. And, it's not started off great, but he's just going to have to wait for his opportunity now. Dan James lacks football intelligence. People hate this comment. They hate it. They think it's disrespectful. It's not. It's not. It's not disrespectful because football intelligence doesn't mean he doesn't know how to do his Tesco shop. Football intelligence is totally different to, having the intelligence to, put something in a sat nav and drive there. Football intelligence is almost it's a talent. Bruno's got football intelligence. Pogba's got football intelligence. There's not lots of players in United side that's actually got it. Football intelligence is knowing what pass to make. It's knowing what run to make. It's knowing when to shoot and when to pass. It's the whole package. And I've watched Dan James a lot. And the question mark with Dan James is he a Premier League footballer? He's definitely got the attributes and the potential to do it. But, I watch Dan James a lot, as I'm sure many of you do. I've seen him time and time again pass the ball to Luke Shaw when Paul Pogba's open, or pass the ball to Harry Maguire when Bruno Fernandes is open. That's football intelligence. Football is... You can dissect football, right? So football's a very simple game. And within that simple thing, it's all about intelligence, football intelligence and decisions. If I'm Dan James and I got Luke Shaw there and Bruno Fernandes there and we're on the edge of the box and I give the ball to Luke Shaw, that shows I lack football intelligence, because if Bruno's also free, Bruno's more likely to get a goal or an assist. So that's what I mean about football intelligence. Decision making is not quite there with Dan James at the moment. And I've said it before as well. He's not going to get it at United because he needs what Fred needed. He needs about 10 games in a row in that team to get consistency. Can Ole Gunnar Solskjaer afford to do that with Dan James? So I would like to give him. I would like to see him go on loan. Nathan says, credit where it's due. Good goal and a good assist. Played well, but let's not get carried away. It'll be good for his confidence, though. Exactly. I think, Nathan, stick him on the bench. Maybe against West Brom. If he comes on off after half an hour left, scores a goal, build from there. But I feel that Dan's had his chance this season. He's going to have to get in line now. I think Lingard deserves a chance ahead of him. Definitely Donny van der Beek. Greenwood as well. He's got to come back in. So Dan James is going to have to wait for his chance. But he's got to be ready. He's got to be ready. That's ultimately what it's all about. I tell you what, we've got some absolute idiots in the live comments. Sorry, I apologise to the live comments. We've got some real twats in here today. I don't know why. I don't know what it's all about. Angry comments. What is it? Didn't get a PS5 when you woke up or something? I don't know what's wrong with people. Or is it maybe it's the... I don't know. Will the Premier League be able to use 5 subs or only the Championship, says M45? I don't know, but they do need to vote that in. We've got the preview coming up this afternoon as well. Very excited about that. So please smash a like on the video. In relation to injury news, and I want to talk to you about Pellistri as well, because he played last night for Manchester United. I think it's the under-23s. They lost 4-0 to Morecambe. Quite a harsh reality for Pellistri that we need to talk about. And so basically, the injury... Rashford injury update. Rashford should be fine to play against West Brom at the weekend. There's been a few injury scares ahead of this game, and I wouldn't be surprised when Ollie does his press conference tomorrow if there is some sort of revelation about a player that's not playing on Saturday that we think is going to play here today. But I don't expect Marcus Rashford to be one of those. We expect Marcus Rashford to start. It was very, very close that he was actually going to be part of the England setup, but they decided collectively that, it was better to let Rashford rest up. I mean, look, England, if it had been close to being fit, England would have used him because they had Belgium on Sunday. So it's not like they've allowed him to rest. There's definitely a niggle there. But shoulder injury, of course, I expect Marcus Rashford to play against West Brom. I'd say Lindelof at this point is probably the more risky one because he sort of played in a game for Sweden when he shouldn't have played and then came off at half-time. Anthony Martial had a back problem but was also on the bench for France against Sweden, so he will be okay. So we're looking okay injury-wise. I think Lindelof might be a little bit of a concern, but we're looking okay injury-wise. And as we've said there's a few players that are on the periphery, whether you agree with it or not. Dan James, Van der Beek, Paul Pogba, who've all had very good international breaks. Pogba played very well for France. Van der Beek got some game time for Holland and scored a goal. Dan James last night. So there are a few players sort of knocking on that door for United, which is good. And Shaw's out for 3 or 4 weeks Sunday, so yeah, he isn't going to be there. What are you going to have for lunch, says Jaden Merrick. Well, you can all have the best lunch in the world if you want, because Cooking with Goldbridge is back at midday on the Mark Goldbridge channel, and it's the best lunch you could ever have. So make sure you watch it at midday. You will love it. I had it yesterday because I made it yesterday, but I might have it again today, actually. I've still got all the ingredients to have a second one. I am Sleepy Bridge this week, Sandork, but to be absolutely honest with you, I'm not tired of you. I'm not tired of Man United. I'm very excited. I'm just absolutely not getting over the fact that last Saturday from 10 o'clock until about 1 o'clock in the morning, so what was that? About 13, 14, 15 hours. I did that charity stream non-stop talking, and it just takes a long time to get over something like that when you never have a bloody day off. But look, I'm not moaning. We raised over £15,000 in a day, which is absolutely amazing after the year that we've all had. And I'm eternally grateful for everybody who got involved in that. I just need a bit of a rest, which isn't going to happen. We're not going to get a rest, are we? To be honest with you. So Pellistri played last night. I just wanted to bring this up as well. So Pellistri is the Uruguayan teenager we bought from Uruguay. Now, I just want to bring it up because I remember when we bought him, it may have been in the Manchester Evening News, it may have been in the Telegraph, I can't remember what it was, but basically when we bought him, and it was just around the time of the transfer window closing, of course, there was this story that Pellistri will go straight into the first team squad. And many of you bought it and were like, oh yeah, we didn't get Jadon, but we got Pellistri and we've got this other lad coming in January. And they're first team ready. And I said, and many of you said, there's no way he's first team ready. He's only played 30-something games in Uruguay. He's a teenager. He's never played in the Premier League. There's no way he's coming in to this Manchester United squad and being a first team contender. And you know what? Everybody who said that was absolutely bang on. And it's exactly the same thing that's going to happen with this lad from Atalanta, Ahmed. He's not going to land in England and go straight into the first team. These signings that we've made they're not desperate, but they are papering the cracks. Oh look, we bought 2 right wingers, neither of which are ready. Now Pellistri against Morecambe last night, I didn't watch it, but I spoke to a couple of people who did, and they said he didn't play badly. He showed some glimpses, but if you want him to play for Man United's first team, he can't just be showing glimpses in an under-23 game. You've got to take control of it, and he certainly doesn't do that. He's adjusting to the fitness and the speed of this league, and he's a long way off being a first team squad member, let alone a starter. So a lot of people wondering what's happening with Amad Diallo. I think he's changed his name from Ahmed Traore. He's the lad coming in from Atalanta. And Pellistri, they're miles off. They're absolutely miles off being near the first team. But there's a positive side to this, and the positive side is we still need to buy a right winger. Whether it's we try and rescue the bloody Jadon Sancho deal, or we go and get another right winger, or an Ousmane Dembele, or whatever. Manchester United still need to buy a right winger, and it is still a priority for Manchester United to buy a right winger, because Amad Diallo and Pellistri, they may go on loan next season. They're that far off. Like, there is low expectation that they're anywhere near ready for the first team of Manchester United. So anybody who thought that they were, or bought this bullshit that, oh look, they're going to go straight into the first team, they're not. They're nowhere near. They've got to adjust. They're young. They're nowhere near. So, get real. Get real about it. They're not going to be going into the first team this season, and United still do need a right winger. So, and everything we hear is that United are going to look at a right winger. We're only 40 likes away from 1,000, so please smash a like on the video if you're watching. We need Sancho, says Ram. Ahmed is a beast. I'd start him, says Isaac. He does. Yeah, Ahmed is absolutely fantastic, isn't he? He's brilliant. I just can't help myself getting so excited about all the training clips of him at Atalanta. I mean, people are overhyping this lad before he's even here. Look, Romano said he's brilliant. Loads of people have said he's brilliant. His teammates say he's like Messi in training. There's a big issue here. Everybody's talking about his potential and what he's like in training. Is he playing for Atalanta? I even hear people saying now, well, maybe it's part of his contract that he can't play for Atalanta. This is not right. This is not right. He could be playing for Atalanta this weekend. He won't. He won't play for Atalanta because they don't feel that he's ready to play for Atalanta. Now, there may be a part of them thinking, well, what's the point in playing him? He's going to go in January. But they certainly can use him, and they don't use him. And if he was one of their best players, it's like having Lionel Messi and knowing he's leaving in January. Would you not pick him in the next 2 months because he's leaving anyway? I mean, football's a results-based business. You get your best players on the pitch. If we know Paul Pogba's going in the summer, do we not play him now? Of course you play him, because if he's playing well, he could help you get top four. So, look, what are the odds of Ronaldo coming back, says Chris. Percentage-wise, 20%, nothing more. There's a chance, but I'd say it's a slim chance, to be honest with you. Do I not rate Mason Greenwood? Yes, I do. I think that coming back into this period of play, Mason Greenwood's almost like the cliche of a new signing. I don't feel like Mason Greenwood has started the season yet. I don't feel like Paul Pogba's started the season yet. I don't feel like Van der Beek has started the season yet because he's not been given a chance. So I think United have got 3 or 4 players that to come back into a winning squad that haven't really, their season hasn't got going yet for various reasons. And Greenwood's reasons are different to Pogba's to Van der Beek's, but those 3 players I think are all first team quality players that are currently not in our first team. So Mason Greenwood's a fantastic player. The trouble is Mason Greenwood had a great season last season for a young player. This season it's not started off well. What Greenwood needs to be careful of is that a season can slip away very quickly. It's nearly Christmas. It's going to be nearly Easter soon. It will happen very quickly. What we don't want to be is in 6, 7, 8 weeks' time still saying, "Oh, when's Mason Greenwood going to get some game time?" He's got to hit the ground running now and get back into that team because he's good enough. I mean, some people think that Mason Greenwood might start at the weekend. We'll talk about that in the preview this afternoon about how Ollie should line up. But he's a fantastic player, Mason Greenwood, and I think Mason Greenwood's going to become a striker, and I think we all know that. If first team players get injured, Man United is done for, says NU. Well, I think injuries will happen because I just think that's just inevitable because it's the world we're living in at the moment, isn't it? There's going to be a lot of injury problems. That's just how it's going to be. Bruno is making future captain noises, says Trev. Do you think Bruno Fernandes will ever be captain of Manchester United? Seriously? I don't think he will. I think that while Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's here, Harry Maguire is his captain. I think Ollie's very stubborn like that. Harry shouldn't be the captain. Played very well for England again last night. I think his heat map had him basically playing left wing. Some brilliant passing. Harry Maguire's looking like he's come through his difficult period, which is great for Manchester United. All I want is Harry Maguire to play well. To me, he needs somebody quick next to him because the mistakes are still going to happen. We're still going to get caught out for lack of pace at the back, no matter how good Harry Maguire plays, because he needs someone quick next to him. But I don't, Bruno Fernandes for me is the captain of the club, but I just don't think he's ever going to take it away from Harry Maguire. I think in many ways he's almost too scared to do it. Oh, I can't let Harry down like that. So I just don't see Harry Maguire never not being Manchester United captain. So I'm quite relaxed about it, because to me there is only one captain in that team, and he doesn't wear the armband, and we all see it every game. But I don't ever see Harry Maguire not being the captain, to be honest with you. Vandy Candy says Maguire is only good in low block or back five. He's not a good centre back. We were robbed. I certainly don't think you can play a high line with Harry Maguire, which is a shame. But there you go. Bruno is the captain who doesn't wear the armband, says Kellyan. I agree with that one. Upamecano rumours, says Keshin. So I thought I'd spoken about this one, but actually you're correct. I didn't. So Upamecano, you're very right. I was meant to mention it on last night's show and I never did, and I did write it down somewhere. Upamecano, where was my notes from last night? Here we go. Upamecano, Liverpool, City and Bayern all monitoring the situation according to Sport Bild, and the English clubs may try and escalate a deal in January to stop him going to Bayern. Interesting thing about Upamecano is, I've said it a few times, Christian Falk, who is a very good German journalist, he said last February that Bayern Munich were very close to getting Upamecano in last year's January transfer window. Bayern Munich want Upamecano. When Bayern Munich want a player from the Bundesliga, doesn't matter whether they're German, French, Japanese, whatever, they're good at doing it. So Bayern Munich are clearly the favourites to get Upamecano, and they're probably going to wait till the summer to do it. There is a feeling that if Manchester United want to get Upamecano or Liverpool want to get Upamecano, they're going to have to do a Pulisic type thing where they do the deal in January and he comes in the summer. So look, Man United like Upamecano. They do like him, but they've got to do something about it. And I always worry about United when there's competition for a signing, as many of us do. So we'll have to see what happens with that. I mean, Sashin says that Upamecano is not the best. He doesn't suit United. I still would prefer Alaba. I really would. PMA says, "Are you my dad?" Don't know. And what about the Sancho story on the United Stand Twitter? Says Antasic. Look, I don't run the United Stand Twitter. I don't run the United Stand website. So sometimes you're going to get go to the UnitedStand.com, because they put a lot more articles out than I can cover. I'll go and check it myself. But with Jadon Sancho, I personally was very invested in that deal in the summer, as were many of you. I cannot reinvest in the Sancho deal until he holds the shirt up, if he holds the shirt up. I'll report on it. I'll give my opinion on it, but I'm not able to get excited about Jadon Sancho, because I still can't believe we didn't do it last year. So there we go. There's talk that Cavani may be isolating. I don't think that's true, to be honest with you. But look, thanks everyone for tuning in. Please smash a like on the video. We've got the preview coming up this afternoon. It'll be coming out at about 2 o'clock. Really good. Looking forward to doing that. And also remember, the link is in the video description for our Flick app. If you want to get onto the Flick app, you can do. Continue chats throughout the day, polls and quizzes. Free to download. Links in the video description. Get involved with the United Stand community 24/7 on the Flick app. It's basically just a chat app that you can get involved with. Thanks for watching, everybody. Really good video again. Loved some of the comments. I don't know what's wrong with some people. It's Thursday morning. Thursday's always a good day. We're very close to the weekend. The preview's back. Ollie's press conference tomorrow. Lots to look forward to. So put a smile on your face. Get positive. International football's gone. Maybe some of the people who aren't happy are the people who love international football. I don't know. But it's gone. Forget about it. It's crap. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all in a bit. Have a good day. Stay safe.